When it comes to buying a car, there are a million things to consider, but just a few of them are truly important. So in this video, we're taking a look at 5 simple steps to save for a car. Buying a car seems like a huge decision, and if it's going to be your first car, then that decision is all the more important. This is why it's necessary that you keep a few things in mind once you're all set on making the purchase at some point in your life. One of the first things you need to do is decide which car you're going to buy. This is important because it gives you a number which you can then strive towards and start saving up for. But before you do all of that, you need to check how much money you have on hand, because the rest of the car's payment will need to be made by using other means. For example, if you're buying a $25,000 car and you only have $5,000 in hand, then you need to borrow around $20,000 from the bank or some other organization. You might be thinking why we aren't giving any tips on buying the car outright. Well, the reason for this is that there are very few people out there that are able to buy a car outright if it's their first time purchasing one. Now that we've talked about considering the price of the car and the amount of money you'll have to borrow, the next thing to think about is how long the term of the loan you get is going to be. This is because if the term is too long, then you'll end up paying exorbitantly more than what was needed in the first place. This is because as the length of the term increases, so too does the interest rate on that loan. This is why you should be very careful to select an amount of time during which you would be most comfortable paying the borrowed amount back. Another thing that's slightly related to this is getting a lease. There are many people that lease their car, which means just paying a monthly payment for a car and then giving it back after a certain number of years. This might seem like a good idea at first, since you're only going to be paying a fixed amount each month for the car that you drive, but in hindsight, this decision will not be in your favor. This is due to the fact that while the amount you pay monthly for the car might seem okay, it will actually severely impact your finances in the long term, since you won't be able to save up or build up any amount of net worth of wealth while paying the lease. While it might seem like the most important thing, setting up a deadline for when you're going to make the purchase is highly crucial for you. What this ends up doing is defining a goal for you to reach in a set amount of time. If you don't have a concrete goal set up in your mind, then you won't know when you're going to be able to make the purchase. You could even start to save a certain amount of money each month for a number of months, and by the end of your saving period, you can easily go out and put down the payment on the car. Setting a goal also helps in you being frugal, which is another crucial thing that you need to be when setting your mind on buying something as expensive as a car. But before we continue on with the next step, if you're enjoying the video so far, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Now that you know how much you have to save in a set amount of time, you can come to the matter of how to actually do it. Well, there are a number of things, and one of the easiest things to do is set up a checking or saving account. As the name implies, this amount is made solely for the purpose and intention of gathering money. This will also help you in resisting unimportant purchases while saving up, since you won't be able to see the total amount of money you have in any one bank account. The separate money in your bank account won't entice you into spending money you don't have. There's one thing that you can do to save up for a car, but it's the most obvious thing to suggest, which is just limiting one's spending. Once you realize just how big of a purchase a car is, you'll be naturally inclined to spend less in the months leading up to the purchase. If you're the type of person that goes out to eat often, you can just start making your food more often at home. Another easy thing that you can do is sell some of the things in your house that are of no use to you. We all have a bunch of useful items, such as old electronics and the like, that can be sold off on online platforms like FB Marketplace or Craigslist. Do this and you'll save up for a car in no time. Hope you found these tips useful, and good luck in your endeavor of buying a car.